Okay, this is probably gonna be a pretty quick one because this was pretty much just a transitionary chapter. There wasn't really many like huge events here. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it was a little hard to tell. I read this on my phone, so it was a little hard to tell where speech bubbles were directly attributed. So I was confused a little bit about like who was saying certain lines, and especially with like when Luffy and Usopp were hanging with the giant kids, like is it Usopp that's upset that they're peaceful, or was it Luffy? Because it seems like a very un-Luffy characteristic thing to do if he was the one that speech bubble could be attributed to. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure, so I'm not going to take that criticism. But yeah, like it seems like there's this little friction there of like the peaceful society, but obviously with the Holy Knights coming in, it's going to be that's that little sort of way of life thing's going to be an issue. Another interesting takeaway is that the teacher. Oh my god, am I blanking on her name? Yeah, I don't remember her name, but someone. Oh, they're delivering packages. I was like, who's in my driveway? But yeah, so I don't remember her name, but she said she's the mother of that kid that was always like talking about Shanks, the Gus out Shanks, and talking about how his father. She says his father was a human and a famous pirate, but I didn't want to like burden him with traditional marriage and everything because he's ages way quicker than me. And I think the obvious thing that they're trying to get lean toward and imply here is that the father is Shanks. But it would be an interesting subversion if it was someone else, like maybe a more villainous figure or something like that. Like I think that would be a cool, interesting subversion because I feel like it's almost too obvious with what they're giving us to say out with Shanks. So I wonder if they'll take like a more like a twist with that. Like, oh, maybe it's Blackbeard. That would be hilarious. I mean, obviously not. I don't think she would go for Blackbeard, but it's probably Shanks. But it would be cool if they decided to do like an interesting twist with that. I would say. Yeah, I like how the ages of the giants are like the implications of the ages. Like we like saw this giant elder. I think he was like prevalent in Big Mom's flashback and like store backstory as well. So it's like cool that we're gonna get a lot of knowledge like pertaining to people that actually lived through historic events and get their perspective. I mean, I don't think he says that he's the old guy and he's like 400 something years old, but that's like still half of the time since the Void Century. So I feel like I have a lot of insight about like history repeating itself and things like that. Um, so it seems like the two holy knights that have arrived are, and the Shanks holy knight was like nowhere to be found. But it seems like the two holy knights that arrived are, in this chapter. I mean, he was nowhere to be found, but it seems like those two holy knights are going after Loki to free him, or kill him. We don't know. I would say maybe like if Morge's theory is right, which I tend to ascribe to, that like the holy knights killed Loki's father and framed Loki for it essentially, and Loki tragically has does not realize that the person he's talking to is the one who did that all along and thinks they're friend. Like I think that's probably the dynamic. If you haven't watched Mord's video about it, I would highly recommend doing so because I kind of ascribe to it. Um, so yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if they're going to kill him to take out the evidence of what happened, or if they're going to free him to use him as an ally. It's unclear. It's unclear, and we don't know if Loki was talking to Shanks or the female figure that we've been seeing in this chapter. Yeah, we don't know. But yeah, like overall, like not much super revelatory or new to say. Just a lot of like transitionary moments. Alberto, I bet you love the if you're watching this, I bet you love that owl librarian so much. It's incredibly Eucor. But yeah, overall, like good solid transitionary chapter. It was weird because I Viz said there was no chapter this week, so I wasn't expecting one. But then I saw Morge posted his review this morning, and I was like that's odd. I thought there was no chapter. So it turns out there is. It's just I think Viz is releasing it a week later. So next week, I think if the schedule is right, next week, unless Viz updates their like thing and releases it tomorrow, because sometimes they like change their projections like the day of, on their app/site. So I don't know, but there's a chance this is the last chapter. Well, no, next year would already be past the new year. So this seems like it might be next week's chapter. So we might not have a chapter next week. I don't know for sure. It's a little confusing, but yeah, that's overall, fun, solid transitionary chapter with little nuggets of hints of things to come, but nothing really substantive. He's super substantive this time. Oh, Frankie's looking for the Atom Tree. Make more, turning the Sunny into a Pluton. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, that's about it. Thanks for watching.